pay attention to the national news, you've probably heard that there are changes to the home buying and selling process, specifically related to how realtor commissions are being negotiated. As always, the headlines have been pretty dramatic, but I've spoken with dozens of family and friends, and everyone seems to have a different interpretation of the details. So I thought I'd explain the details as easily as possible. Okay, let's go. Ultimately, the lawsuit was all about getting more transparent with the commissions for buyers and sellers, real estate agents. In the past, a home seller would typically get paid 5 to 7% commission, depending on what they negotiated with their agent and what services they provide. The selling agent would share this commission with the buyer's agent, or the one who ultimately sells the house. The commission would be listed on the MLS so the buyer's agents would know how much they could expect to be paid. The commissions were deducted from the seller's proceeds when the home was closed. So what's changed? Under the proposed settlement terms by the National Association of Realtors, or NAR, sellers can still negotiate the commission, but their agents will no longer be required to offer the share of their commission with the buyer agent. Also, NAR agreed to create a new MLS rule prohibiting the listing of commission splits on the MLS. This simply means that any commission splits cannot be communicated on the MLS, but they can continue to be an option for sellers that are trying to attract home buyers. So as a home seller, you need to know that you can, 1, negotiate the listing commission as always, and 2, now you have the option, well, you always did have the option of how much, if any, commission you choose to pay to the buyer's agent. The work required to maximize the investment you sell has not changed. NAR also agreed to create a new rule requiring MLS realtors like me working with home buyers to enter into written agreements with the buyers before the buyer tours a home. NAR has long encouraged us to use written agreements to help buyers understand exactly what services and value we provide and for how much. Now it's being mandatory. Okay, so you're buying a home now. This means that a realtor that you're working with will be required to get a signed buyer broker agreement, just like you were selling your home. And although your realtor will likely attempt to get the seller to pay the commission, you will ultimately be required to make sure that the realtor is compensated. Here are the 6 components of a buyer broker agreement. 1, duration. This specifies how long you'll work together. 2, exclusivity. This determines whether you want to work solely with a specific agent during this agreement period or not. 3, the scope. This outlines the tasks and responsibilities of the agent. The compensation is number 4. Based on your scope above, you'll agree how much the agent will be compensated. Confidentiality. Both parties will agree to maintain confidentiality requiring sensitive information. And 6, the termination clause. This specifies the conditions for ending the agreement early. It's worth noting that buyer brokerage agreements are not a new concept. While in some states, such as Florida, they may not have been as regularly used in the past, these agreements are now being mandated, ensuring consistency and clarity in the buyer brokerage relationships nationwide. So, as a home buyer, what you need to know is 1, you'll need to have an agreement with your realtor before looking at homes. And 2, you will be responsible for any commissions that cannot be negotiated through the home purchase process. See, that wasn't so complex after all. I'm Shana Lee Sanford, and I'm what you'd refer to as a full-service MLS realtor living right here in the Villages, Florida, also known as your data-driven, no-pressure neighbor. Stay tuned for my next video where I'll go into detail with the services I offer. Happy house hunting. You need to know that but they can still, duration. But they're for their agents. Shucks. These agreements are now being mandated for more uniformity.